Hello and welcome to the Life and Fiver podcast. This is a special edition, UK Fighting Championship. We're joined by the reigning, defending UKFC amateur featherweight champion, Liam McCracken. How's it going, Liam?
How are we? Okay.
Yeah, man. So you're at home at the minute, is that right?
Yeah, stuck in my house.
Stuck in your house. So we'll quickly break down Liam for people that don't know you, or even if they do know you, we'll just go over the accolades that you've done. So how old are you now, Liam? 18, 19?
18. Turn 19 in the summer.
So hopefully this is all over by then.
Yeah, definitely.
I turned 30 in 2 days on the 15th, so I'm locked down for my 30th, which is great. I was supposed to be in Florida, but one of them. People in worse situations. So yeah, you train out of Aspire under Phil, Dean,
Phil and Dean.
Aaron, etc. Yeah. You're 8-3 as an amateur. Is that right?
Yeah, 8-3. Two split decisions, losses. Should be 10-1, but one of them, innit?
I guess that's the bonus at amateur. You've got all that experience. Like, you're only 18. That's 11 fights in, and that doesn't include the grappling that you've had, the training time you've had, and you're also 4-0 as an amateur on UKFC. I think the fights from the top of my head was Sandro Gogoladze from the first one. Is it Sam Gittins after that?
Yeah, Sam Gittins at Bantam, and then Corey and Nicola, the last two. 2-0 Bantam, 2-0 Featherweight.
Yes, that's right. So you won the title of Corey Fry. That was it in December or October?
December
7th, and then you defended it about 7 weeks ago against Nikola Ivanovich. Which I just wanted to quickly touch on that fight. I spoke to obviously a couple of your coaches afterwards, and it was a fight. You dominated for 5 rounds. You controlled the pace. I don't know how he got out of a couple of your submissions, which is crazy. But I know from speaking to them that you weren't happy with that performance. You wanted a finish.
No.
Can you explain why you wasn't happy, even though it was dominating?
To be honest, I was more just frustrated with myself. Like, without I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I feel like just the level was there was a big difference, especially because my fight before that, against Corey, I fought that Peter in the world, who was 17-3 or something like that, and then even my fight before that, I went from fighting I feel like the best competition you can find an amateur, and I'd watching his fights, I know he weren't that level, so I wanted to go in there and make quick work of him, but he was tough. I weren't expecting to be that tough. I was hitting him with shots, his head was bouncing off the floor, and he's just he weren't even covering up. He was keen on just taking them, so it was frustrating, and I kind of fucked my refuel up as well. I think that was just being stupid as well. Kind of underestimating him. I felt like I'd just go in there and walk through him, to be honest. And after a minute in, I put a high pace out for the first minute, and I could feel my arms going, and I knew it was because of the refuel, in the back. And then I was scared to get touched in the stomach and my warm-ups. I felt like I was going to be sick and that. And then after the fight, I was spewing it for half an hour. So that was what I was mainly frustrated with. I feel like if I would have refueled properly, then I would have made quicker work of him. But yeah, me respect that night. He was a tough kid. Even that Kimura was right behind his head. But
I literally was sat next to the announcer's table during that fight. I had the judges to my left and Lacey and Stika on my right, and I had the belt ready to give it to the winner. And literally, when you put that on, I literally put the belt in front of my eyes because I was like, wow. And it was horrible. And I was shocked at how he got out of it. It reminded me, I don't know if you've seen it, the George Gurgelli fight. I can't remember who he was against. I think it was against Danny Williams in the Guildhall. He had an arm bar on, Danny.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
I don't know how it didn't snap or he didn't tap. It was crazy. But I guess the respect you give to Nikola Ivanovich was because you underestimated him. Did you feel like that helped you become a better fighter because you underestimated someone? You feel like you couldn't do that again?
Yeah, definitely. This is what amateurs about. It's another big lesson. Don't judge someone off the record in the previous fights. You can't do that. And another thing was I kept my head in the fight. After the first round, I wanted that to be done. So I could have got frustrated and then fought out of anger, but I didn't. I kept my head and kept that same pace. Because that's one thing I think if that was my first fight and I felt like I was gonna walk through him, and I didn't got to the third, fourth, fifth round, I would have lost my head and then I wouldn't have put on a good performance. But I still feel like I performed well and I kept my head in the game and stuck to the game plan. So I was happy with that. That's another thing, just through experience though. A few fights ago, definitely wouldn't have done that, but No, that was like probably the biggest takeaway for it from me. I wonder if I can keep me head in.
So in your record, you've also won the K Gores Academy Northwest. Was it the Bantamweight Junior Championship?
Bantamweight,
Am I right?
Yeah, junior. Yeah, that was right. Yeah.
So that was against Curtis Campbell. What did you take away from that fight? Obviously, Curtis is a tough cooker.
Yeah, Curtis is good. That's same with Curtis as well. After it, so I know he's another top level kid. He's only had a few fights, but he'll definitely be up there. He was meant to be fighting Marlon, when he was going to be a boss fight on the next UKFC.
With everything that's going on at the minute, it's up in there. It's not been confirmed by the powers above me if it's on or off. I don't think it will be, but that's something we can. I'm hoping we get to do that down the line. I think that's a great fight to have, and it's funny that it moves me on to sort of the next question I was going to ask. So, you fought Curtis, and now he's going to fight Curtis at a weight down. But last year, Marlon faced a guy that you want next.
Yeah,
George
Staines. Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about the sort of the swap of opponents?
Well, Marlon's not a featherweight. Like a few fights ago, if he wanted to, and like he could probably still do. He struggled badly, but he could probably still make flyweight. He stepped up to take that fight against George on like a week or two's notice at featherweight. Like he walks around not far off featherweight, and George is a big featherweight. He's one of the tallest I've seen. So that was probably just a little bit of a bad decision that he shouldn't have made. But again, no, it's amateur, isn't it? Who cares? The worst that happens, you get beat, you carry on. So I therefore want that fight though this year, because he's ranked #1, and I don't think he deserves it. I think I've had tougher fights and beat tougher people than him. I think I should be the #1 in the UK.
Yeah, I think that also. I think most of his fights. I've actually got his topology up here. 1 second. He's had 5 out of 6 fights on Almighty, and he's had 1 on Cage Stealer as well. He's fought decent opponents. Obviously, Marlon at any weight is a tough fight. Then he's fought Bronson Price, which decent caliber of fighter, and he's built up to. And then I don't really know the rest of them off by heart, but I feel like because he's got the W over Marlon, I feel like you want that #1 spot. You want to prove that. He wants your title from the sounds of it. You want his title. He's beat Marlon, which is your teammate. Out of all them factors, what do you want the most? Do you want the revenge? Do you want the belt? Do you want to show that you're #1? What is it?
Being #1 as well, but at the same time, it's a good fight. Like, if he's the best out there, I want to fight the best. That's what it's about, an amateur. Like, I want to go into pro, and I want to fight everyone I can. So mainly that #1 spot and the test.
The #1 spot is at the minute based on the rankings that when they come out seem to be, especially in the UK, if you win or do well in these events, is the IMAFs, which you were part of. Was it last year?
November, just before. It was only a few weeks before the fought Corey, like 3 weeks before that.
So what did you take from that? Obviously, it's a different sort of caliber and different event than your normal. You don't have the build up to it, the weight. It's not all eyes on you. You know you're going to a tournament style. Did that affect your mindset to think, right, I've got to pace myself? Just like you were referring to Nicola, you didn't think about pacing yourself because you thought, right, I'm trying to walk through this kid. Was your mindset, right, I've got to pace myself, and you feel like that didn't help you in that way?
Yeah, it was different, like, especially with like the same day weigh-in and stuff like that. Like, I thought I was going to be a good size for the weight, and when it turned up, like, I looked small, and I ended up drawing like the biggest kid in my first fight. So I was like, you don't want to go out and put too much into the fight as well, and you don't want to take too much damage. And the kid who was fighting as well, like a big knockout artist. He's gone pro as well now. He's 1-0 pro, got like a big knockout, so he was good. So like, I wanted to make that a wrestling match. But he was big, and like I felt his strength. Like, usually fighting at featherweight and then fighting at lightweight, even though it was same day weigh-in, like, I did look quite undersized for it. So it was definitely different. Like, I think if I do it, I'd be interested in doing it again this year if the Worlds are on at the end of the year. We'll just see what happens with that. But I definitely want to put a bit of size on first before if I was going to do it again.
So was that same day weigh-in at lightweight?
Same day weigh-in at 70, yeah.
And what do you feel like going in at the same day? What do you walk around at?
See, I walk around heavy. I must have my diet, and that is terrible. Like, that's probably my worst thing. Like, how to camp sometimes, like my diet and stuff like that's terrible. But usually I try and stay like 77 at the most. don't know what I am at the minute, like, with this lockdown, but just I'm not weighing myself, I'm scared too, so, but yeah, usually about 77, but I can diet down to like 71, 70, and then I'll do the rest fight week. But I don't usually have too bad a cut. The last one was a nightmare, just couldn't get that last 0.05 off, but that was a good cut, didn't it?
Yeah, I think especially with this lockdown situation, like before it, I now work at home, so I was literally getting up in the morning, I would hit the gym for an hour and a half, then I would come back and I'd shower, get something to eat, and then I would start working in the afternoon, which was a nice break, and my weight was coming off, because when I was working 9 to 5 personally, I wasn't able to do the gym. I would come home, I'd work on the events. Now that I've got that free time, I feel like now I came into a routine. This has sort of messed it all up, even though I've technically got more time and I can do things at home. Because I'm at home, I don't feel like it's the right setting to do things unless you've got the right equipment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's like from what I've seen, like most people who like done nothing before lockdown, now it's in lockdown, they're doing everything. And now like people like fucking fighters and that. Like I'm stuck, I don't know what to do.
Do you have any equipment at home?
Yeah, well, I've matted all the down room and that down, so I'm sorted like, and Scott Johnson, he's my sister's fiance, so he's moved in with us, so I'm starting to train with him now. The first week he went with us though, and he's trying to get like my little sister, she's only turned 8 to pat me, that was a nightmare, but Scott's in with us now, so I've matted the down room down, so I can still train. Can't do much grappling on it, like, but I can still strike and train fully, but I'm missing the grappling and that now.
See, that's something I didn't know with these sort of interviews help. I wasn't aware that Scott and your sister were engaged, so I don't know when that happened, so congratulations on them. So we've touched on George, that's someone that you want this year, possibly the IMAFs this year. Is there anything that you want to do before you call it a night on pro? On amateur before you go pro? Also, there's no sort of timetable in your head, but what's next?
Just keep getting the best fights that I can. That's why I was a little bit disappointed last time, because I feel like as much as tough as Nicola was, I don't think he's that level just yet. So like I want to keep fighting the best people. That's why people like George, people like that. I've got enough cage time now as it is. Like cage time's not the problem. Like I worked it out a few days ago, and I've had like I think over an hour time fighting. Like so I've been in there quite a lot, like for an amateur. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's it. Just keep getting tough fights. That's the main thing now. Don't know how many more I've got left in me at amateur. That's up to Phil and Dean, but I'm struggling to get matches now as it is an amateur. So get a few more in against the best competition and then see where it goes from there.
To put comparisons into it, especially because of a similar age and the fact that you've had tough fights and you've literally fought anyone and everyone you could so far, the comparison to me is sort of like Connor Hitchens at amateur. He had so many fights at amateur just like you. He was young. No one would fight him. We struggled at UKFC and we got to a point where he was ready for pro anyway, but we was like, well, let's do maybe another IMAFs, and he was like, I don't want to travel, I just want to turn pro now, and that's obviously up to him, and obviously he's up to his coaches. Do you feel like the IMAFs, you want another IMAF, are you bothered whether it's a Worlds or a Euros, or do you just want that 2 or 3, 4 fights in a small period and then go right and ready?
Well, you guaranteed some good competition there, so that'd be the main reason I'd do it. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't be too fussed though, like as long as I get good fighting over here, and it's different as well, like fighting in shinies and stuff like that, fighting same day weighing, and like it's not what you're going to be doing at pro. So if I didn't do it, I wouldn't be too fussed, because I could still get like what we're doing at amateur now, especially with UKFC and the level. It's like it's not much difference to pro. The only difference is elbows and knees to the head. You know what I mean? So and the longer rounds. There's not. I'm get that experience is probably closer to pro than what the IMAFs is. Do you know what I mean?
No, you're completely right. I think when I was fighting at amateur and then obviously turned to semi-pro, the rule sets was different. Dean of the same. When he fought at that level, it was closer to maybe the IMAFs style of an amateur and the way you build up. Whereas I think like amateur A now, like you say, is so close to pro. It's literally a couple of ounces in your glove. You get to throw elbows, and then your knees can then go to the head. It's so, especially at your level. As maybe a novice watching the sport, they would never be able to tell the difference, really. Especially the level you fight, Corey fights, Marlon fights, Dakota, even Scott when he fights. I've seen him fight at Cage Warriors and Almighty and stuff like that. The level, especially coming out of Aspire, it just seems like you're pro. It's how can I describe it? It's like you're purposely restricting yourself to make it harder. Does that make sense? With no elbows and knees.
Yeah. Well, even like I think when you watch it now, the top level amateurs, like even in nearly every division, like my weight, Marlon's, flyweight, like the top level amateur, I think it's the level is well better than some of like the pros who are like just starting off. Like sometimes when you watch some of the shows, like the big shows, and you've got like fighters who are like just starting off, I think the level looks terrible. Whereas when you're watching like even when I'm watching like the people like George and stuff like that, the level is good. Like it does look like pro level. I think a lot of the fights are pro level, just fought in amateur rules.
Yeah, I feel like especially when you turn pro, you don't want the hardest fight in the world because it's a different sort of mindset, and it is slightly different on the rules. So you just sort of want to build yourself back up, because if you go into the mindset of the highest level possible at pro, it's not obtainable, and it's probably stupid for your career, because I think the pro fights are what matters, especially if someone that's building up, especially a young fighter like yourself. I feel like if you put a hard fight in front of yourself at pro straight away, even though if you had the same fight as amateur, you would have been fine, I feel like that could knock your confidence a little bit, especially go into it. But it's each fight is their own. If you wanted the hardest fight in the world and your coaches did and you're comfortable with it, fly off it. But I've seen a lot of fighters take the dive and then they just kind of go, that was a bit too easy. What's changed? Do you feel like when you do turn pro, do you want obviously not the hardest fight because that'd be UFC, Bellator, but do you want a tough fight, or do you want someone where you can go, I can test myself still? What would your mindset be?
Yeah, well, like I've always said it to myself, I'll never fight a bum in my life. Like someone who turns up to lose, and like you see so many people do it, amateur who are happy to just build a record, just fighting bums. It's embarrassing. Like just to make yourself look good to people. I'd never do that. Like if I got offered one, I'd never fight them. But at the same time, you want to build yourself up. You want to get like a nice record behind you, some nice performances. So like you might be winning fights at pro, but you're fighting like high level, and sometimes it's hard to look good against them people. So then the bigger shows aren't going to notice you. Whereas if you're getting fights where like you're fighting the legit opponent, but someone who can beat you, but you can still go out there and look good. You know what I mean? It's a hard one. But at the same time, by the time I go pro, I want to be confident that I can go in there and beat anyone.
That's a great point. Is there anyone apart from George that you've mentioned in the European or UK sort of rankings that you've got your eye on at featherweight or even a different weight?
To be honest, not really. No, I've seen there was talk of me fighting this kid from Ireland on this UKFC coming up. He looked quite good. So that'd be a good fight.
Oh no, he's turned pro now, isn't he? I can't think of his name.
I can't remember his name. But he looked all right when I had a look at him. But I'm not too bothered. Like I don't like go watching people too much. Like George, I couldn't really. Like, he fought Marlon, so that's how I seen him. But I don't like get obsessed by watching other people's fights and that. Let's focus on my own game. But when the names start getting through about, there's another kid on Almighty as well. Ray done a post yesterday, so I was having a look at that, and a few people are throwing some mad names on there. But there was another kid who's got a good record at Feather, so I'm not too sure what his name was. But anyone it's not even about a record though. Like I'd rather like watch the fights and see the level rather than the record, because anyone can get a good record through fighting buttons. I'd rather watch them and see like I'd rather fight someone who's 4-3 and fought like top people and he looks good, rather than someone who's 5-0 and he's beat 5 cans and he's terrible, because I'm not going to get nothing out of that.
Yeah, you're completely right. So you've quickly touched on the lockdown and obviously that Scott's now moved in with you. Obviously your daily routine's out the window, what you would normally do, because I know you'd normally teach and train at Aspire and you technically live there when you're there as much as anything. What's changed? And for Scott as well, what's your daily routine at the minute?
Still just trying to get into one really, because he's only been in ours for like a week. So I've been running and Dutch drilling and padding every day. I've been a little bit sick the last few days, so I've not done nothing. But yeah, it's just hard with me sleeping pattern and everything. Like I'm usually never in the house. Like I'll go out in the morning, because I live quite far from the gym. I stay there all day. So the only thing I ever do in my house is sleep. So I don't know what to do anymore. Like I don't know what to tell you or nothing. So I'm just trying to like find things to do. My attention span's so bad. Like even if I go on the PS after like 30 minutes, I'm bored. I just want to do something. So I'm trying to like just find a routine where like I don't want to come back to training and feel like I'm miles behind. Like I'm tired with me sleeping pattern and stuff like that. So trying to get that where I'm still getting good kipping, waking up early. I'm still training every day, but it's just the in between. So I'll do like a bit of Dutch drilling and sparring in the morning, and then I'll do more in the night. It's just that gap in between. I don't know what to do. I've just been lying in bed bored on my head.
Do you, for other people that I spoke to, and my mates as well, they seemed a lot to like go into computer games. Like I've not played on my Xbox for probably 3 or 4 years up until recently, and I thought, like, for instance, I was pretty decent at FIFA, but my mates who live on it, I'm getting smashed like 8-9-0, and I'm like, it just shows that I don't do computer games. I've downloaded COD. I've got bored of that straight away. It's just I like to be more creative. Like I like to do these podcasts. I like to sort of UKFC stuff or Empire stuff. I'll keep on top of much and go around the house, do something that's practical rather than just like Xbox. After 20-30 minutes, like you say, it becomes a bit mundane. It doesn't feel like it's my mindset anymore. Do you play on a computer at all? Do you play any games?
Nah, I try to every day, but like literally after half an hour, like I have like one game of COD and I'm just bored of it. Can't do it. My attention span's bad. I was on GTA nearly all day yesterday, so hopefully I want to get into that because I'll still train, but I need something to just pass time in between. Still
I completely agree with that.
Could have this for another few weeks. So
is it the new COD you've got, the Warzone one?
Yeah. I was playing that Warzone, but I'm done with that now. Bored of it.
Yeah, it seems like the last time I played COD, the game was, I wouldn't say easier, but it was smaller, it was more simplified. You knew what you was doing. Whereas in the Warzone, it's too many layers, and you're like,
madness, isn't it?
Just like I just want to play and shoot things just for a little bit, kill a bit of time.
I know, so like you'll have like I've been having like you'll have like games for like half an hour and then you finish like 25th or so, and you feel like you should have won for how long, you know.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. So, are you you're doing things to pass the time? Have you found yourself watching or listening to anything like Netflix or?
I've never finished a series in my life. I don't watch telly at all. Like never. Everyone's trying to get me to watch this Tiger King, so I'm thinking about starting that. But
I would recommend it as well.
Everyone who's watched it said it's boss, so it sounds funny. So I might give that a try. But other than that, no, I don't watch nothing.
What about listening to music? Do you ever play music or anything like that?
Yeah, that's all I do. I just literally, if I'm in my house, I'm sitting listening to music.
Anything you'd recommend for anyone listening or watching?
Music?
Yeah.
I listen to everything, me. I'll go from listening to like some mad tech to like Fleetwood Mac and not anything.
That's not the dude. You're not far from me. It's when someone said to me, "What would you listen to?" I wouldn't be able to recommend as a band, but I'll be able to go, this song from this band's good, or this song. I can fluctuate from. I'm a wrestling geek, so I can go from wrestling theme tunes that sounds good, like Alter Bridge, like metal, to like you say, a Fleetwood Mac or a Kaiser Chiefs.
I literally listen to everything. All my tunes. If people see my playlist, they'd probably shock. Like.
So, what's your plan going forward with regards to if the lockdown continues? Have you got anything are you doing things with Dean or Phil online? Or are you speaking to them or going over things and checking back in?
Yeah, still keeping in touch. Like so, defo sort something there, and as well, Dan Mitten as well. Have you heard about Dan or seen Dan?
No, I've not.
He's like a movement coach, and well, he's not just a movement coach. He does like everything, strength, mobility, all that. So I've just started. Like this is why they're coming at a bad time. This lockdown. So I just started working with him after my last fight, and I could feel the difference it's making. Like he's gonna be the person I think who takes my game to the next level because I just avoid strength training completely. Make more just about like skill training, but especially after that last fight, I wanted to do more. So I started doing that. And then I could feel the difference it was making. Then this come, so it kind of slowed it all down. But I've still been keeping in touch with Dan. He's been giving me loads of stuff to do, so I've been doing quite a lot of that. So like most days, I've been doing like a mobility or like a strength session in the morning, or like pads and stuff, something like that, and then a bit of sparring in the night. So I've just been mixing that. I've been doing quite a bit of that. Just want to stay in good shape for when I come back, so I can just go straight into camp because I'm itching to fight already.
Good, that's the mindset to be in. So just let's quickly touch on the teaching side that you do at Aspire. Just explain to people that are watching that don't know what that entails for you and how you got into it.
So I've done, Dean and Phil set up a coaching course, like the first one, for MMA. So I'd be going like college in the day and just learning basically like the principles of coaching. And then overnight I'd do practical work which like we'd help Dean out with the classes and that. But that led into like jobs for me. So I started doing like I got all my qualifications, and then I'm doing like one-to-one personal training. I don't want to be a coach. Like my goal isn't to be a coach. I want to be a fighter. But like if I wasn't coaching, I'd have to go and get a job. You know what I mean? Like a proper job to me, because I've got to bring income in. Obviously, I'm 18 now. But like the coaching it supplements my training perfectly. I'm in the gym, so it's there anyway. I don't have to travel nowhere, and I enjoy it as well. Like I love I teach, like I run the ninjas program in the gym, which is like kids from like 3 to 9. So like that's my program now. I like have to plan all the classes and teach all that. And like I'm like in charge of all the other coaches as well who help me out with that on the course, who are like younger than me. So that's good. It's rewarding. And then as well, I used to teach the junior class. Marlon does that now, but I still work with the junior fight team. So like kids who are like, we've got quite a few new kids join as well. We've got our junior team scary, you know. Like
what age range is that?
From like kids from like 10 to like 15. There's a few who like nearly coming up as well. And it's like, well, most of them are doing the adult classes now as well, just because the level's that good. So in a few years, you're going to start seeing them. So for me, it's scary.
There's scarier than you and Marlon.
Yeah, defo. Don't like to admit it, like, but yeah, the levels, boss, like. So in the next few years, they're already fighting now, most of them. So like, but they're struggling to get fights as well. So in a few years, you'll see all them coming through. The gym's going to be flying.
Are you doing anything with them in this time? Are you speaking to any of that team, that with all the parents or anything like that?
Yeah, I keep in touch. I keep in touch with all the kids, that I'm teaching, and that, especially the junior ones who like I do privates and that with. But there's not much I can do. Just telling them to try and fucking keep fit, like running, pad work, bag work, anything like that you can do. Just so you're not coming back and you're miles behind. If you're gonna be behind, there's nothing you can do when you come back. But try and keep on it as much as you can. But that's it. I want to get back teaching them that as well now.
It's weird. I guess if you knew you couldn't train to fight, you'd go, right, I would rather be teaching. But because everything's taken away, you want to do everything. That's what I find anyway. Just before I let you go, then, Liam, just a couple of quick fire questions for you. Mainly for aspiring, and sort of, so you can give back to what if someone was thinking about getting into this sport that I've never trained in their life, what would you recommend them to do? And if they're in the Aspire local area, why should they get down to Aspire?
Well, the way I think you should build like a good fundamental, like the way we do it in our gym. Like if you join the gym and you're fresh to it all, we'll split it up. So do a little bit of grappling, get your fundamentals right there, get some fundamentals striking, get some fundamentals wrestling, and then put it all together. And like once you've got a good base in all three, then you get into the MMA. That's the way I've done it. And I think that's the best way. Just like a lot of people that just jump straight into the MMA, like they miss out a lot. And like fundamentals is like the biggest thing. Like my game's simple, but like if you just get good at the simple things, that's what wins fights. You don't have like some people who just jump into MMA, they haven't missed out. You'll have like a big hole in the grappling, like steak jits, or you might have a big gap in the stake. And I think start off like get a good base in each and then put it all together once you've done that. And what was the other one about joining Aspire?
Yeah, if they're in the Aspire local area, why pick Aspire?
Yeah, get that. It's the best gym, isn't it? That's what I think anyway. And it's showing as well now. Like the gym's still quite new as well. Like only compared to the other gyms in Liverpool, it is new. But the results are coming through now. Like you've seen in the last UKFC, the one before that, taken over.
Sweet. Before I let you go, then, anyone you'd like to thank, any sponsors or anything like that, anyone if you want to shout out?
Yeah, first one, my new sponsor. This is the top I'm wearing, Luciano Fashion on Instagram. Made up to have them on board. They're like quite a big clothing company in Liverpool, so made up to be working with them now. Then just have a little thing here, make sure I don't forget anyone.
No rush.
Focus Stores and Windows. They helped me out big time in my last camp. Fisher Crown Accountants, Kitchen 62, who's like one of my main sponsors. They've been with me from the start. Them sorting all my meals and that when I'm in camp. And then the Marinelle Foundation, they're my sponsors who stick with me. They all sort me out big time. So all of them, yeah. And then obviously everyone at the gym, all my training partners, coaches. Looking forward to just getting back to it now.
Missing them a lot. I want to finish on because I like to give a bit of intrigue to people. So we said that you want that number one spot. Any last words for George? And I'm sure George will see this. You want that fight?
Yeah, let's do it. I called him out on Instagram and everything, just ignored it. So I've still not heard nothing from him. But I definitely want that fight. I'm the number one. Let me come and prove it.
Sweet. I know we keep saying I'm finally, but how can people follow you if they're interested in your story now? How can people follow you on social media?
Yeah, so Liam McCracken 01 on Instagram. I don't really use Facebook and that too much, only Instagram. Been trying to get on Twitter, but it's confusing me too much. I don't get how to use it. So Liam McCracken 01 on Instagram. Liam McCracken 99 on Snapchat, but that's just mainly for birds, though.
Well, Liam, it's been a pleasure. I'll get some details about your sponsors and your Instagram anyway, and we will. I'll post it on YouTube and get out on all social media. But thanks for your time. If you need anything, let us know. Peace.
Thank you.
Nice
one. See you later.